it's hard living this life.
No, it really is. So I just got a text from my wife. She's it's a text to me and her mom. She said, I'm divorcing Jaceel, mom. A blog has accused him of cheating on me, so I'm done. Like, that's what I'm dealing with in real life. Like, in real life, see what it says? Yep, the girl who used to work for him. So this is what I'm really dealing with. And that's I'm going to be as transparent as I could be, because this is what happens when you play like this. You play on people's lives. You play on whatever they may be dealing with, and they have to deal with real circumstances. So this is what I'm dealing with this morning. Yeah.
Indeed, everyone, if you believed that Yung Joc and Kendra had finally moved over their conflict, you should reconsider, since what was just revealed completely alters the situation. Remember how, as they were preparing for their wedding, Kendra nearly broke up with Joc after finding out about his secret baby? It was real, not a TV scene, but they persisted, married, and made an effort to go on. Nevertheless, Kendra's pregnancy is making headlines, and let's just say it's not what you think, just when it appeared that they were getting over the ordeal.
Well, Jaceel and I have been in this for a real long time, so, and it's a lot of stuff like you guys are seeing this season where, the whole world wasn't privy to, some of the stuff that Jaceel and I was going through, like, or the times we separated or that we were broke up. Even while we were engaged, or even while I was still wearing my ring, we had moments where it just was like not happening. But and things happened during those times when we weren't together.
Not long ago, rumors of Kendra A. Robinson's pregnancy began to circulate. After everything they had been through, supporters were first ecstatic, thinking that she and Yung Joc would finally be able to move on. Almost immediately after the news was released, though, people started to question why Kendra was remaining silent and why Joc hadn't made a major announcement. Under normal circumstances, this would be a momentous occasion, especially for a couple who had been trying to prove that their love was strong enough to endure all the complications. It was silence instead, and then there were whispers about the Joc. Instead of being a happy soon-to-be father, he appeared strange. He avoided the topic or appeared uneasy whenever the issue was brought up, according to fans. No one saw this coming, despite some people thinking it was because of their background. According to sources, Joc had begun to inquire behind the scenes, and the more he investigated, the more contradictions he found. He obtained the proof he required by doing what any man in his position would. Then the shocking revelation of a leaked medical report that allegedly verified that Joc was not the child's father. Kendra, allow that to sink in. After all the drama, Joc had been brought up for his past adultery and the secret children, and this time, Kendra was the one bringing the turmoil. To exacerbate the situation, Joc claims that the real father is a close friend of his who unexpectedly betrayed him in this manner. According to insiders, it's far deeper than the initial assumption that it might be a random person. When he found out who it was, Joe's response was honest.
Because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too.
Yes,
Because guess what? Let me tell you something. I didn't go to college. Guess what? I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that right now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too.
Right.
But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, oh, I wouldn't want my son or your son to be like you. No, you're going to put some respect on my name. Because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids.
Okay.
Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. So we're going to do that. Okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I could say I wouldn't want my daughters to do.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to
Tell
do that.
me.
I respect you and I love you enough.
I want this magazine to know
I
what
respect
it is
the
about me. You
integrity.
don't want your daughter.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Be my guest.
I'm not
going to be
that.
slighted, honey.
I'm not going to do that. That's where we have to draw the line.
What should have been a moment of joy for Yung Joc upon learning of Kendra's pregnancy turned into his worst nightmare. According to even more unfavorable accounts, Joc was caught off guard by the news and neither heard it from a reliable source nor received a private confession from Kendra. Like everyone else, picture yourself browsing through your phone when you suddenly see stories about your wife's pregnancy, only to find out in real time that the baby isn't even yours. Joc experienced just that, and when the reality dawned on him, his feelings first shifted from shock to outright anger. He was shocked to learn that Kendra, the woman who had helped him get through his difficult past and who had promised to change, had done this secretly, and worse, with a person he knew. Joc reportedly didn't waste any time in arriving home to face Kendra. He and she were together in person, without any cameras, a stage, or reality TV. Kendra was taken off guard and felt compelled to be clean, according to witnesses, who also say that voices were raised and emotions were raw. Not only did Kendra's words exacerbate the situation, though, the man who allegedly entered the room while the Joc was absorbing this shocking revelation also had a role, and it was none other than, although Kirk Frost has a history of problems in his marriage to Rashida, including lying to her and cheating on her with children from outside the marriage, his involvement with Kendra is an entirely different level of betrayal that has persisted for years. If you've been watching Love and Hip Hop, you may already be aware of this. Beyond their camaraderie in the workplace, Joc and Kirk shared a profound bond. They had passed together, laughing together, and even supporting one another through good times and bad. The situation for the young Joc reportedly became more serious when Kirk was caught surreptitiously seeing Kendra and grinning in Joc's face. There were reports that the betrayal was terrible and humiliating. Truly went wild, and who could blame him? Really? The event as Kirk walked in, all the feelings Joc had been holding within jumped out. Witnesses said that Joc's rage was out of control. In addition to yelling, he was also hurling objects, toppling furniture, and acting strangely. Joc was the most irate person anyone had ever seen, according to those around him, and security had to step in before things got physical. Joc looked like he was ready for a fight, but when he lost his temper, things became worse. Kirk was reported to have stood there completely unconcerned, displaying no regret or apology. It appears that he even smiled, as if he had won something. Kendra, on the other hand, stood there calmly, neither crying nor asking for forgiveness, as if she had already made up her mind how this would end. At the same time, Kirk and Kendra were already preparing their next move since the prank was becoming out of control. On social media, everyone had something to say when this story went viral. One person wrote, "This is crazy." Once again, KRA has done Jack a favor by keeping Kirk Frost out of more trouble, even though normally Jack is the one in the hot seat. Rashida must be worn out from all the rides the Joc had. He ought to tell everyone since this is really messed up. Section of tumultuous conditions. While the internet was discussing this, Joc was already thinking about his next move. He isn't just letting things go, but it's unclear what legal action he's considering, a divorce or something more serious. According to sources, Kirk and Kendra, on the other hand, don't appear to be at all affected. They have apparently been cited out together, as though they aren't dealing with serious criticism, concealing nothing out of embarrassment, and carrying on with their lives naturally.
I don't have to give no explanation to no goddamn body. If you understand, you understand.
Nah, what are you talking about? Like,
That's
how
what it is.
insensitive is that? You
That's
so
what
goddamn
insensitive.
big-headed and arrogant. You around here creating babies all over the globe, dropping them off household to household.
All
And
over
you
the globe? What are you
ignorant
talking
enough
about?
to not actually be able to tell my mama, tell my brother. You should answer them.
I will talk to whoever when I'm ready.
As soon as news of Kendra's betrayal spread, the industry started to take sides. This was no longer just a personal relationship problem. it had become a full-fledged reality TV scandal, and everyone had an opinion. In the music and reality TV businesses, some of Joc's closest pals expressed their opinions. The world roared in support and pointed fingers at Kirk when he broke the unspoken rules of loyalty, respect, and boundaries. After years of friendship with Jockey, Scrappy was among the first to react. Despite his silence, he admired Shady's remarks on betrayal, and his social media posts conveyed sinister meanings pertaining to fake friends, but not everyone agreed with the Joc. Others chose to keep quiet, or worse, to shield them. Internet fans then started researching Kendra's past, and some were left wondering whether this was all part of a bigger plot after learning what they found. By implying that Joc's prior actions may have pushed Kendra into someone else's arms, several industry insiders even suggested that he wasn't exactly an innocent victim in this case. Some said Kendra had always been shrewd, citing her handling of Joc's past infidelity issues and her ability to bring their marriage into the spotlight. The essential question was whether she ever truly loved Joc, or if he was simply another part of her success narrative. Simply when it seemed like there was nothing more messy that could happen, Jockey decided to do something unexpected. Joc had been too quiet for a while, which made others assume that he was processing things or maybe figuring out how to handle the situation behind his back. His eventual speech, however, was not what everyone had expected. Rather, he was allowing his feelings to control him. To lay everything on the table, Joc started crafting a shrewd interview. The history of Kirk and Kendra and some shocking receipts. However, the Joc was supposedly drafting a lawsuit behind the scenes. Insiders said that he was collecting information to hit Kirk and Kendra where it hurt. Whether it was through a divorce settlement, monetary compensation, or even the disclosure of some business transactions that Kirk didn't want the public to know about. Additionally, there were rumors that the Joc had a final play that may alter the course of the match. But what was it? And would it be sufficient to give him the satisfaction he so richly needed?
I felt like after we made our vows to move forward, that we won't even bring any of this up.
I didn't bring it up. People bringing it up to me. And then I'm hearing stuff about the Mita lady. I've heard about this lady, Mita, before. Jaceel has mentioned her to me before. The way it was told to me is that it was an old bone out of his old closet. Nothing during the time we were together. So I'm like, what is the deal?
I have not messed with Mita.
This girl standing up talking about she been messing with you consecutively, years broken up apart, but all them years she described was when I was in your life. Quit playing.
They're all waiting to see what Joc will do. Will he put in all of his might to defend himself and hold Kendra and Kirk accountable? Or will he decide it's not worth the trouble and just walk away? His public image has already been changed by this situation. Some people believe that he was tragically betrayed. Either way, it's clear that this drama isn't merely personal for the millions of people watching. It's karma coming full circle, according to some. In the end, this entire incident is a reminder of how disastrous trust and treachery can become, particularly when fame and reality TV are involved. In the spotlight, relationships rarely last, and when they do, it's never silent. However, I'd like to know if you think Joc should decide to sever his relationship permanently or opt to forgive and go on. If you want to see more videos, then subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below.